Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Aqua Lounge Podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in this week. Got a special guest in the building, one of DGS's very own, Jack Denicola. What's happening, my guy?
Yes, sir. How we doing, guys?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you coming down, man.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. We got all the DGS in the house right now.
Of
Yes,
course,
sir.
like always. You got to get, I think we got, so you and then we got one more we got to do. Yeah, hell yeah.
Mr. Misfit over there.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. So yeah, let's just get into, how talk, because we heard everyone else's journey, how they got into music. So share a little bit about how you kind of started with everything and that type of thing.
Yeah, so honestly, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. It's always been a part of my life. My dad, when I was really young, started, having me listen to classical rock, a lot of folk stuff as I was growing up, and then I kind of just fell in love with music from there. I had pretty good music teachers growing up in elementary school and middle school that kind of just furthered my love for music. And then around high school, I feel like I really started to take it seriously and try to start writing songs and figuring out what my voice really is and all of that, actually practicing my voice because I relied on my talent as a little kid for a while, but that kind of runs out. So I started really practicing and getting my stuff together. And then by senior year, I released my first song, So Alone. And then from there, I've just been working on music, as much as I can, trying to further myself and just further, the music I'm trying to create for the world. But I've always had a very strong love for music and a passion for it.
So who are some of your inspirations musically? Musically?
So right now, because I got a lot of idols in music. I really love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's my first love in music.
Shit, okay.
I love The Weeknd. I love Post Malone. I love how they could story tell and everything. Also, Pink Floyd is a huge influence on me as a young age. But right now, I would say, honestly, people like Don Toliver, Baby Keem, a lot of these newer artists that are coming out, even some folkier guys, like I said, I listen to, there's this guy, Hosier. He did the Take Me to Church song. I don't know, you guys remember that one? That was a long time ago, but he's got a lot of really cool music out right now. So I don't try to limit myself in what I'm listening to because I believe there's influence just everywhere in music. Music is so universal. You can find a lot of inspiration out of, anything.
Right. And I was saying to him before, just off the people that you mentioned, that your inspirations, you have a powerful voice, listen to your music, and I feel like that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, of course, and it kind of translates some of these guys that you were Take Me to Church, that voice, powerful, so I could see that in your music too, which I think is dope how you kind of translated it into.
Yeah, I've always been just a loud singer, kind of just screaming. So I've learned to dial it back over the years, but I love singing powerful and
No, because I think we were what were we just listening to?
It was the last single. It was
Angel in Disguise.
Yeah,
right?
Disguise.
Yeah.
And dude, your voice carries the entire song.
Thank you, bro.
That it's usually the mixture of the. I mean, you know how it goes. Usually the instruments and the voice, a little bit of both. But that was it was very in your face, but in the right way. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I really appreciate that.
Hell
I love that song. That was a really beautiful song when it came together. It kind of came together only in a couple days, but.
Oh, really?
What was it? What was the process of that song like?
So the producers that I was working with kind of just sent me the beat one day, and I just started writing immediately. And just fell in love with it. Because sometimes it just happens. You kind of get a lot of beats here and there from different producers and stuff like that, and you don't fall in love with them right away. You still might use them down the road, but this one was just kind of
right away.
I knew right away that it was going to be a really dope song, and I just tried to cut it as soon as possible, and we built on it into what it is now.
No, that's
that must be a good feeling, man.
Sometimes those songs that don't take very long, and you just kind of don't overthink it too much, because I'm really bad with overthinking. I will not lie to you.
Yeah.
Be the first person to tell you, but it really just happens sometimes. And I feel that's where some of the best music is made, when it kind of just happens and you don't think about it too much.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I could relate as producing and making beats too. Sometimes the best beats are literally the ones that you just start dragging shit in and shit's just sounding good.
Yeah,
and,
just everything
going, and then it's done.
It's just working. Yeah.
Otherwise, sometimes you're picking through shit. Oh, I gotta move this sound. This is not sounding right. And then sometimes it's you're oh, like you said, you're overthinking it a little bit, and you're scratch this.
You might make 9 out of 10 songs or 9 out of 10 beats. Might not be what you want it to be, but as long as you get to that 10th one, you might come up with something that you really love.
So that's a fact.
Exactly.
So talk a little bit about growing up. How was your like environment at home? Like what are kind of things that you did and like that type of thing?
Yeah, for me, it's always been very family oriented. I really love my family, and they're very like good at supporting me through everything I've tried to do in music, whether it was like choirs when I was little, or like I even did musical theater in high school, or like even making music now into what I'm doing now and everything like that, going to a music college and all that. They've been so supportive. So growing up, I was very close with my brothers, just like, it's only 4 guys, you know what I mean? And my dad, and my mom was the only like girl in the house, but she would never rather it any other way.
Right.
You know, I was very loved, and like, you know, I'm very grateful because like, you know, every family has their things, but like my family stays pretty strong.
It's fire, bro.
Yeah, that's good. And even just having like the support, because a lot of people don't have that in families. You know what I mean? Having them be able to just like support you, and like it just goes a long way, I think. You know?
Yeah, like I said, I'm very grateful. You know, like there's been, you know, like I said, every family has their thing. There's been shaky times.
Yeah,
but
of course. Yeah.
You know, you get through it.
Yeah, for sure.
You said you went to a music school. Where'd you go for college?
Yeah, I went to Berklee College of Music up in Boston.
Okay.
Right in the Back Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Talk about it a little bit.
Nah, it's just music college is so different from normal college.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a different experience, but at the same time, it's still school. And it's still that feeling of like the test and the studying and this and that. And I almost kind of cared even a little less because it was music college, and you know, I still had to take normal classes, but it was kind of dumbed down.
Yeah.
You know, we were all musicians trying to focus on music. Like, they weren't trying to have us focus on our math equations or anything.
Which makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, of course, but
Especially
it's still just that, like, I don't know.
And what do you start like when you say you go to school for music? Like what is it? Like what do you?
Yeah, so I was a songwriting major.
Okay.
I kind of declared that,
cool.
like, yeah,
That's so
it's
cool.
cool.
That's
And
so
it definitely like had its perks and everything. It was a lot of fun to learn from some of the best in the world that would come around to Berklee and just kind of help us and teach us different things, little tidbits and all that. But like overall, it's kind of like I would have a couple normal classes in a week, but then like one of my classes might be like at a class called Songwriting 1, and then there was one called Arranging for Songwriters. And then I would go to my English class, but then I would have another class like music acoustics, which was like our physics class.
Yeah, okay.
And just learning about wavelengths and all that stuff. So, you know, definitely a diverse kind of plethora of classes to kind of, you know, keep the musician well-rounded. But at the end of the day, like I said, we just wanted to focus on music.
Yeah.
But you were a student of the game at that point, man. You were really putting your time in.
Yeah, but, you know, there's learning to be had every day.
Oh, no, for sure, dude, for sure.
I'm still learning every day. There's still so much I don't know about music, about myself as an artist, just about my music knowledge overall. So I'm still learning every day, finding new music, you know, just different things.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
So, like, what does a typical week look like for you? Like, a work week for you? Like, what do you...
For me, I mean, I still have my job. So, like, I go to work.
So, what do you do?
I'm actually a manager at my family's restaurant.
Okay, cool.
Helping out the family business a little bit while I'm still trying to get on my feet and everything.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, you know, it's a good job to have right out of college, make some good money and stuff like that. But, you know, the passion is still music, and to get out there really into the world and either tour or just like go move somewhere else, whether that's LA, Texas, Atlanta, wherever it really is, just somewhere. I want to experience something else a little bit.
Yeah. So how has it been like so far?
It's been good. Like I said, so like my week is like, I go to work about 5 times a week, but then anytime I'm not at work, I'm trying to work as much as I can on music or meeting up with the guys and working on DGS stuff. Really just trying to advance ourselves in any way possible. I'm currently working on a home studio right now that's being built, fully soundproof and everything, so I can get me and the guys down there to record more music and just make it at a faster pace, because we won't have to worry about studio time and all this and that. Still go to the studio, but like it's just a place to really hone in.
And
our
you could
skills
just create,
and stuff
just
like
go and just let thoughts
of course.
go.
Yeah. Like we're just chilling in the house, so it's like
that's
we
perfect
have this-
situation.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. But I've just been trying to center myself a little bit because graduating from college has been interesting too in itself, of just being in whatever you want to call it, the real world, and just being not having that safety blanket of school anymore. Kind of just learning how to operate a little better, like either mentally, physically, emotionally, just trying to get a little better every day.
No, it makes sense.
No, it really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about like if you could recall like when you were I know you said like you started music very early, right? But was there something that, like when someone said like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, were you saying like musician?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So it's,
I would say that point for me was the first concert I ever went to.
Okay.
But shout out to my dad again, because he brought me to my first concert. It was Roger Waters, who is the lead singer and the bass player of Pink Floyd. He went on his own and did a tour of The Wall, which is their rock opera album that came back in like 1976, I think. You can fact check me on that, but you know, he was going on tour and everything, and I really got to, for the first time, watch a true live performance of like something I had listened to growing up as a kid, because I think I was 9 or 8, but I had been listening to that album for 2 or 3 years prior as like a little kid, which that whole album is just like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like the perfect thing for like a 6-year-old to listen to. But like, you know, like I said, I really fell in love with it, and seeing that live performance like really changed my mindset, and I was like, yeah, like I like to sing, but this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It was pretty cemented at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, and just because it's like it's a whole different like situation when you can go in the studio, record your music, listen in the car, but when you're like performing in front of people and all that shit, like that's just
there's nothing like
there's
it,
nothing. Yeah,
there's nothing like performing, and I really haven't had too much of a chance to do it recently, but you know, stuff is coming.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be performing, me and the guys, very soon. It's gonna be great.
All right, great shit.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So how about like outside of music now? Or like I know you said like you work and then you try and get doing music, but are there other hobbies that you kind of like that you do kind of get your mind off of music?
I have something real quick
Yeah,
before we go into a different. I have something specific that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Because you were saying you did music in high school, right?
Yeah.
So now, when we were in high school, if you did music, it was like one of two things. It was either you were a cornball or you were really fucking good at it and like keep going. Did you receive like backlash for like publicly saying, yes, like I'm a singer, I'm a rapper, or was it more like a supportive kind of system in school and stuff like that?
I think truly in high school, I blocked some of it out. I'm sure some people thought I was like a little bit of a cornball, but I knew who like my real supporters were.
Yeah.
And like, I'm happy as to like who supported me when they did and who might have thought that I was whatever, or this or that, because you know, it really does make a difference in the long run of just like how you treat yourself and how you of like answer to the things around you, because you know, not everybody's gonna like what you do.
No.
Like I've already realized that, and I've made trash songs. Like I said, I'll be the first one to admit it. I made bad music, but like I had to make all that stuff to get where I am now, where I feel like, you know, I'm making some of my best stuff,
Where
and
you're
I'm
confident.
really figuring things out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
you kind of got to go through a little, and I'm so happy I did it. I am happy I did it earlier. Like I said, you don't have to, but I'm happy I got certain things out of the way, especially in an atmosphere like high school, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, 'cause
Yeah,
it could be
like-
weird, dude. Like, especially
of
with that
course.
shit. Like,
Of course.
because I remember. I mean, I'm not gonna say any names.
Yeah,
but like,
you got me thinking a little
there's
bit.
people. Because I mean,
Like, because there were some people in our school that were like, the musicians, like, oh, they're going to be famous. And then there was like the people that are just like, oh, they just want to do it for whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
like
No,
we-
100%.
We played the drums. Like it was kind of similar to you. Like since we were, I mean, what, 3rd, 4th grade.
Yeah.
So like, it was kind of the same kind of thing. Like music was kind of always there, but it was specifically the drums, and so that's why like kind of went to beats, all that. But
Yeah. Yeah, man. I know a lot of drummers too that are like turned producers.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
yeah.
There's something with the rhythm that like,
Yeah.
even when I try to produce myself a little bit, it definitely helps that I used to be a drummer. And
I'm
stuff
sure
like
it
that.
does,
It
dude.
helps 100%.
Yeah.
Because you got me thinking a little bit too when you were talking about when you used to play the drums and then like you got the rhythm and stuff. Like I feel like with other instruments, right? Like you could play instruments like off beat. Like you could play the guitar and like slow it down, speed it up. But with the drums, you kind of have to keep like a steady pace. So
Keeps
like
the time for everything.
yeah.
Yep.
So it really, I think knowing the drums, like you said, gets you ready for like the rest of everything else. Staying on beat, staying
Absolutely.
in tune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives you such a foundation if
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
rhythm like that and you have that internal rhythm.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
a fact. Because even just like when you look at producers too, you could tell that they don't have rhythm when like certain things are off and it's like it just all stems back to that rhythm thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
man.
So, what's your? Because I know you said you talked a little bit before about some of the classes you took were different songwriting classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
For like, you know, structure, whatever. So what's your process like now when you're writing?
I would say like going to music school and being a songwriting major definitely helped my process with songwriting a little bit. But, you know, every day is like honestly really different. Like some days I'll just sit down with like a beat that's already on my phone, and like I have my little notes app where I keep all my lyrics, and I'll just like sit on my porch and just try and write. Other times I like to write in the studio a lot. Like this past album I just made, I wrote a lot of it like in the midst of the studio, and then I went straight into the booth.
Okay.
So I don't know. It really just depends on the vibe and where I'm at. Like recently at home, since I haven't had like a home studio yet, we just like kind of started building it. I've just been sitting on my porch just writing to beats that are already made and everything like that. But once this studio's done, I really am excited to just get in there and have my whole setup with the speakers and the desk and the monitor and everything, and really just like get to work.
Do you have like a booth set up too, or are you kind of just gonna do?
Yeah,
like,
I got a booth like under the stairs that
Okay.
go to my basement and stuff like that on
Okay.
some like Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah, that's
But, like,
fire. That's fire.
But yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's like
Yeah.
separate from the mix room, so it'll be really cool.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So now kind of the other side, not really songwriting, but like freestyling. Are you?
I cannot freestyle.
No.
Nope.
Who's the best in DGS?
Malik. Silk.
Yeah.
I said his government name. We got to cut that out.
Yeah.
Silk.
We'll cut that.
My fault. Nah, Silk is the best, 100%.
Okay.
I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yep.
He could just go, man. We were on a trip in Cancun one time, and I have a video of him freestyling, I think, for at least like 4 or 5 minutes.
Really?
All different
Yeah.
stuff.
So you guys did like a trip to Cancun. You guys all just.
Nah, me and him literally just went for his birthday one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bet. That's fire. That's a
that's
fucking
lit.
fire move
Yeah.
right there.
I mean, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. All right. So do you have, because I remember back, I don't remember where, but are you somewhat of a manager in a way for DGS as well, or?
Well, so DGS Entertainment started as Silk's father's
Right.
label, and he worked on it for a little while, and then eventually when he had a family and had Silk and everything, he kind of just saved it for a while until he was ready to use it, and then one day, you know, me and Silk have been friends for a while now, and he's known I've always done music, and then he started working on music, so it kind of just eventually happened, and we're just trying to like continue the legacy of you know what it once was.
So it's not like you're like your role is like a manager and an artist as well, or no?
No, I mean we are signed to our label.
Yeah. Okay.
We are signed to DGS as
Yeah.
artists, and we still like manage ourselves.
You
and
do it
manage
yourself,
everybody else.
yeah. Okay. And you guys met like way back, you said.
Yeah, me and Silk met in high school. Same with me. Actually, all 4 of them, to
Yeah,
be
okay.
honest. We all met in high school.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy that we're all like still sitting here and doing this.
No, but that's important, I think.
Yeah, man. 100%.
No, it is, man. It's got to be like a family, man.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what it seems like y'all are, man. So
Of course. Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about that AI
Go
shit,
ahead.
right?
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
Very
weird.
weird.
So
It's weird.
like we have a Drake and Weeknd song that's gonna be almost like submitted to the Grammys.
Stupid.
Yeah. So like,
Why?
yeah. Well,
Because it's just like, as much as it was written by a real person and the vocals are real, it's still, you know, The Weeknd and Drake got some weird beef. They're not making a song anytime soon, if ever again. So, like, the fact that something like that could be considered to the Grammys,
It's a little weird.
it doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Doesn't say right with me either.
I don't make the decisions for the Grammys, so it is what it is, I guess.
but I guess the dude who made it, like, how do you even submit to the Grammys like that? Like, if you're not even known, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Because I'm sure it got
know.
a crazy amount of streams.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
like,
probably considered it, and then the dude was like, "Yeah, I'm submitting this."
is
shit.
it still up on DSPs like Spotify
I don't
and
think
stuff like that?
so. I think they had to take it all down. The
Yeah,
shit.
it has
shit's
to.
crazy.
It has to be, bro. The fact that it even got up there is ridiculous.
That's what. How does it get through? Because you know it's going through people's hands. Like,
Yeah,
how do you let
it's-
that through? Like,
Beats me.
I don't know.
You gotta
man.
ask somebody at Spotify,
You know what I'm
Apple
saying?
Music, or DistroKid or
how do you
something,
let
because
that
that's
shit through?
ridiculous.
What do you got? Yeah. How is that even cleared? At the end of the day.
Well, the dude uploaded it himself. He just used one of those, like, there's like websites. You
Yeah.
can get these people's like audios and stuff,
I'm
and that's
doing
why
that
the AI, he didn't have to go through anybody. He just
doing it.
uploaded it.
I know,
probably.
but I thought I saw some shit where it's like it's still Drake's like shit. You know,
you think it's like his lyrics?
Yeah, or
I think that dude wrote it like himself.
I know, he did, but I think like if you're using his voice,
yeah, that's why I think it got taken down because it's like, how are you using Drake's voice?
That's
the weekends, it's crazy.
It's
wild.
It's crazy, bro.
It really is insane.
I don't know, man. I try to stay away from the AI stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, I mean they're even doing it like with producing too.
Yeah,
like,
you could just type in on a website, it kind of beat you one, and it'll just.
But
make
like
something for
I've
you.
done like some research and shit, and like the beats usually are not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like some
I've
trash
even
shit.
tried to look up lyrics, like typing in, write me lyrics like Travis Scott or something like that, and it comes up so whack.
Yeah.
It's not that perfect yet.
Yeah.
It's not totally mimicking, a human being, but it's
it
is interesting, and it's definitely like here.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is here.
Not even just in music, just in general.
Yeah.
So got to get with the times, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how would you say your music has evolved over the years, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I feel like when I first started, I was really trying to be somebody I'm not. And I kept trying to be like, I want to make a song like this person, or I want to make a song like that person, or I really want it to sound like this specific ass song from this album or this, but like, it just kind of became like the more and more, because I kind of just released singles when I first started. Each one kind of felt less and less like me. So it really took me to just like take a step back. I ended up going to school around the time I stopped like dropping these singles, like my senior year. And then I met a lot of good people up there that I was able to really find my sound with and like, I don't know, really tap into the next evolution of my music. And, now I feel like it's on me to kind of continue that because I'm not really working with them anymore. So just because like we all graduated and everything. Yeah. So it's like, I'm really trying to take onus of my own and just focus on how I really want my stuff to come out, whether that's me producing and singing on it or really working closely with whatever producer I work with or songwriters that I work with to really find another unique sound that I could tap into now because it's just ever changing. I don't know if I'll ever stop evolving, and I hope that for every artist. You should always want to evolve and continue to build like on what you were. You do the same shit over and over again, people are going to get tired and they're going to see right through it. So I feel like I kind of got to like a stale place and I'm trying to get out of it right now and just like continue on to the new evolution of my music. But I am really excited for this album I got coming out next month.
Okay. This month it's coming out.
Yes, October.
Okay, October. Yeah.
This interview will probably come out after the fact.
Yeah.
So October 13th.
You want to talk a little bit about the album?
Yeah, man.
If we can.
No, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah. I love talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's the third part of like a 3-part trilogy.
Okay.
Man, that's what trilogy means. But so I released the first 2 projects. The first one was called Act 1 Doomsday. And then the second one was called Intermission. This one's called Act 2 Moonfall. So you kind of get like the theater vibe with the intermission and all that. And the acts.
I like that.
I try to be very storytelling in my music, or at least with this project, because like I said, I'm very inspired by The Weeknd, and he had that whole trilogy run, and he's even on one right now with like After Hours and The Dawn, and he's working on like the third one. So I really love the storytelling in music from people like that and Pink Floyd. So I try to hone in on that. Plus, I said I did musical theater in high school, so I still have, even though I don't do it anymore, it still had enough of an influence and an impact on me that I want to incorporate it somehow within my music and like make this whole story with this character through the music and everything. And like, I really love how like it kind of finished up, and I'm excited to just, release it and move on to whatever's new and whatever's next.
That's fire. Yeah, it seems like you really put a lot into it, And one thing I want to just touch on quickly, going back a little bit, when you were talking about like your music evolving, right? Like, I feel like sometimes with some artists, it's like they have like a certain sound, and then they come out with some new shit, and their fans are like, "Fuck this! Like, this is not good." Yeah. Like, so how do you like slowly build that up? Like, you can't just switch your sound right away,
Yeah, I mean, I think with every artist, it's something to think about, whether like because you have to be as genuine as possible to yourself and like how you want to conduct yourself as an artist and what you want your message to be and everything and how you want it to sound and all this. But you do also have to think about the fact that you are a product and like you are putting on a show or something like for fans, for an audience, and you have to kind of consider sometimes like how that might fit into you being as genuine as possible. And it gets a little messy sometimes. And I feel like that's where people start to, do something or make something that it's really not them, or it's disingenuous. Like it's happened to me. Like I'm not like opposed to it. Like it's happened to me.
Yeah.
So just finding a way to have that happy balance of just knowing that you're happy with your product for yourself, but also thinking it'll be a good product to put out, like for your fans or for your audience.
Right.